Hey guys, welcome back to the Pixel Palette. In today's video, we'll be drawing this really beautiful rose, and we'll also be coloring this in with using pixel brushes in Adobe Fresco. So let's get started. First up, open Adobe Fresco and start a document. Today I'm going to use a square document. And for the sketching part, I'll be using my pencil tool, which is a pixel brush, because I think this pencil brush is really good for sketching anything out. And the smoothing of the pencil brush is 85, the color is black, and the size is 7. So without any delay, let's get started off with the sketching. Now the reference image would be on your screen, or you can also follow my steps because I'll be showing how to draw it step by step. Alright, so let's get started. So I would prefer starting from the inner petals of the rose so that it's really easy to draw it. So always start from the inner petal of the rose. Okay, so once you're done with the sketching part, let's move on to the coloring part. And for this, first up, this layer on which you sketched out the rose, just click on it and go to the layer properties and change the layer opacity to a 24 or 25, something in the 20s. And now just add another layer on top of the sketching layer. So remember that each of the petal of the rose will be done on a different layer. Okay, so now I've chosen this layer, and let's choose our live brush. Now for the live brushes, I'm going with the watercolor ones, and I'm going with the watercolor wash soft for today. This is a pretty good brush and it's gonna work really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna choose a really dark pitch red color for the base. So I'm going like with this color, and if you want the same color, just match the HSB sliders. The hue is 353, the saturation is 100, and the brightness is also 100. So if you match the same numbers as my HSB sliders, then you would get the same color which I'm using right now. Okay, so the size, I'm going to keep it to a 6, and the flow is 91, and the water flow will be 100. Okay, so let's start. So you can just pick one petal which you want to do. For example, if I choose this one, I'm just going to color this in like this. Then go to the layer properties. Just keep this layer properties panel turned on because you will need it a lot. So yeah, keeping the layer properties panel turned on is actually really important because you're gonna need this setting a lot, like a lot of times while you do this. So yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go with a really dark color to add the shade. So for that, I will be going with a color like this. And the HSB sliders do match it. The hue is 353, saturation is 100, and the brightness is 29. So it's your wish, like if you want your rose to be in pink, in shades of pink or red. So for today, I'll be going with the red. So yeah, you can match the HSB sliders. And yes, let's do it again. So now, again, my flow is to 100. I'll be going at the very bottom. And then I'm going to lightly just add some pressure slowly until I find the two colors mixing with each other. So the red and the maroon, you can see that they have smudged really well with each other. So now you can stop here. Now, the layer opacity, keep it to somewhere like where you can see the outline of this specific petal. Now go to the eraser tool and just start erasing the outside, you know, like which is really uneven. So you can just erase it to get the same shape of the petal, just like this. There we go. Now again, turn the layer opacity to 100, and well, look at that petal. It's all nice and all good, right? So I'll just add a little bit more curviness to the petal so that it looks realistic. And now just look at the shade of this petal. So always remember that like each of these petals, you will always be coloring, you know, like always the dark shade will be going at the bottom part of every petal. So I'm going to show you 2 or 3 more petals, and then I'll be leaving it to you guys. So again, add another layer on top of this. Remember that every single petal should be done on each layer, on a different layer. So now I'm going with the next petal, and I'm again going to go with my base shade, which is red. And again, I will be coloring it in. And do not worry if you overlapped on top of this, on top of the first petal. It's totally fine. So just I have done the base. Now I'm going with the dark shade. And from the bottom, I will be coloring it in. Don't even irritate the top part, or else it will not look good. Just do it on the bottom part, because the colors, you know, as it's watercolor, they'll just spread around and merge in with the base color. So yes, do keep that in mind. There we go. When you think that it's perfect, you can start off by erasing the boundary. Change the layer opacity, go to the eraser tool, and yes, there we go. Erase the excess to get the perfect shape of the petal. And yeah, do not worry, you can also erase on top of the first, on top of the overlapping petal, because this first petal, which I just did, is on another layer, so you know, it's totally fine if the color even comes on top of it. So that's not a problem, because that's the main reason why I'm telling you guys to do to do each petal in a different layer. honestly, this feels, you know, like when you look when you look at the final piece of the rose, it's gonna feel really difficult to do, but it's honestly very easy. Okay, again, once you're done erasing, change the layer opacity to 100 and look at that perfect shade. That's just amazing, right? Alright, and again, add another layer on top and start with the other petal. I'll be showing one more petal and then I'll be leaving it on you guys. So we'll be doing this petal right now. Again, always remember to start with the base color. Let's like this. Go with the darker shade. Now, as I told, the dark shade will only be in the inner parts of the petal, okay? Because you want that perfect rosy shade. You'll remember to do the darker shade always in the inner part of the petal. There we go. And start erasing. The erasing part is a little bit tedious, but I think it's fine. It's worth the hard work because this is going to turn out really awesome. There we go. Really pretty. And just a little bit more of erasing needs to be done. All done. Now, at least when you're done with 3 petals, you can merge them down. So, for example, I have this first petal. I will, you know, when you scroll to the very bottom, you'll find a dry layer option. You can just dry it out. You can do that with all of these petals. And then finally merge them. Remember not to merge them in with the sketch. Only the petals should be merged in together. Sorry, I just redoed it. Okay, anyways, let's move on to the next petals. Okay, so I'm done with the first 2 layers and now moving on to the 3rd layer. So let's do this quickly and then move on to the leaves. Now that we are done with the flower, let's move on to the leaves. So for the leaves, I'm of course going to use a green color. So let's pick a nice green color. We're making a little bit darker. Okay, so just match the HSB sliders. The hue is 128, saturation is 100, and the brightness is an 85. So again, I'll be using the light brush, the watercolor soft, which I was using previously. And here, my size, I will just keep it to a 6 or a 7. The water flow is going to be to 100. Add another layer and start off. Again, as I did the flower, I'm going to do with the base. I'm going to do the base with green. do not worry if it's overlapping on top of the flower. You can just erase it. Just like this. Just like this. And now you can keep the water flow to a 0 or to a 5. Like I just kept the water flow to a 4. And the next thing you have to do is take a darker shade of green. So here, match the HSB sliders. The hue is 128, saturation is 100, and the brightness is a 43. So now you have to, kind of just make a rough outline of the leaf. So like the border of the leaves has to be dark. I know it's really uneven right now, but it's totally fine. It's gonna look so much more better when you erase the excess. I'll just do it right now, so now just do it. And I think that I must decrease the size. I'll keep it to a 5 or a 4. And even the water flow, I'll just keep it to a 0. So, as my base is already wet, like imagine you're drawing on an actual paper. So the base is still wet, so of course the rest of the colors will be mixing with each other, right? So you can just, so for this darker shade, you can just keep the water flow to a 0. Like this, I'll just be doing the border. And then, for the wings, this. Like this, and at the bottom, and also at the bottom, I'll be adding some shade just to make it look good. Now, again, go with the darker shade, even darker than this. So, not really. Okay, so again, match the HSB sliders. Okay, I do not know what's happening right now. Alright. So the hue is 128, saturation is 100, and the brightness is 28. So let's do it. Now again, the water flow is to a 0. And I am outlining it. I'm just going to give a better outline to the wings and everything so that, they look even 3D. Just like that. And now for the bottom part. And now let's just go to an even darker shade. The hue is 128, saturation is 100, and the brightness is 18. Here we go again. Okay, so look at that, how cool that is looking. Now I'm going with an even darker shade, and for the final touches, there we go, all done. And again, the layer opacity, let's keep it to a 69 or a 60 or like a 72 or something, and erase it. Let us just erase the axis, this part. go. Layer opacity back to 100. If you want, you can also change the smoothing to get, you know, like even curves, but I think I'll just manage with basic one. All done. Let's move on to the second leaf. Again, for the second leaf, I'll be adding another layer and doing the same thing again. Now, again, I'm going to change my water flow to 100 and the previous green color, which I just used. I do not know why this is glitching. Right. Okay. So back to the green color. With this pitch color. Just doing the base. Darker color. And the water flow to a 0 and the size to a little bit less. Now for the wings. Again, switching to a darker color. You can also overlap with the same color so that, you know, it gets a little bit darker and much more visible. Again, a darker color for the final touches. There we go, all done. Again, keep the layer opacity to a little bit less and start erasing to get the perfect shape. Increase the smoothing so that I get perfect curves for the leaf. Yeah, all done. Alright, now for the final leaf, and then we will be done. Again, take a new layer, and I'll be leaving this leaf on you guys. So that I'll just complete it really quick. Right, so I'm done with the third leaf. So we're basically done with this whole rose flower, but the only thing left is to dry these layers and merge them. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then merge down, and merge. All done, you guys. Look at how pretty this is looking. And now if you're thinking that this is so teeny tiny, then do not worry, you can just increase the size of it by using the transform tool. There we go. And you can see the sketch at the back. Do not worry about that. I can just delete this layer. So you guys, now we are absolutely done with this whole rose drawing, and I think this is looking so pretty. So if you guys also love this, then do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye, you guys. Meet you in my next video.